garlic bread, salad, and ice cream for dessert. She took pictures of us together at the table. She said sometimes good things don't last forever, but that doesn't make them less good. My sister asked if we were leaving. Catherine said she didn't know yet. We'd been practicing being poor our whole lives. Our parents thought they'd prepared us for anything, but they'd never prepared us for kindness. They'd never taught us what to do when someone cared about us without keeping score. In all their scenarios of deprivation, they'd never included a drill for losing something that actually mattered. The placement meeting happened 3 days later. Mrs. Chen arrived with a thick folder and a forced smile. She spread papers across Catherine's dining table while we sat in the living room, close enough to hear everything. The first family she mentioned lived 2 hours away and believed in what they called structured discipline. They had experience with children from unconventional backgrounds. Catherine's jaw tightened as she read through their philosophy statement. My brother pulled me aside while the adults talked. He showed me the notebook he'd been keeping, documenting everything our parents had done. Dates, times, specific punishments. He'd even drawn diagrams of the garage sleeping arrangements. I realized he'd been preparing for this since the day we arrived at Catherine's. Mrs. Chen called us in to explain the transition plan. The new family, the Millers, would meet us tomorrow. If things went well, we'd move there by the weekend. She assured us they were nice people who understood our situation. Catherine stood by the window, arms crossed, watching birds at the feeder. That evening, Catherine helped us pack again. She folded our new clothes carefully, tucking little notes between the layers. She gave my brother a real fishing rod, collapsible and practical. For my sister, she'd bought a soft stuffed elephant to keep the old bear company. She handed me an envelope with $40 inside and made me promise to hide it well. The Millers arrived precisely at 2 o'clock. Mr. Miller wore a suit despite it being Saturday. Mrs. Miller's smile never reached her eyes. They toured Catherine's house, commenting on the excess of toys in the corner and the indulgent snack drawer. They asked about our daily routines, specifically how many meals we ate and whether we'd maintained any of our resilience training. My sister hid behind Catherine during the meeting. When Mrs. Miller tried to coax her out with promises of teaching her valuable life skills, my sister pressed harder into Catherine's leg. Mr. Miller took notes about our attachment issues and dependency behaviors. They outlined their household expectations: cold showers twice a week to maintain character, 1 day of fasting monthly for spiritual discipline, chores that would teach us the value of hard work. They assured Mrs. Chen these practices were nothing like our parents' extremes, just healthy boundaries and life preparation. Mrs. Chen nodded along, checking boxes on her forms. She'd found a placement that met the court's requirements for culturally sensitive foster care. The Millers had sterling references and no complaints in their file. On paper, everything looked perfect. Catherine made our favorite dinner that night. She let us stay up late watching movies. My sister curled between us on the couch. None of us mentioned tomorrow. When it was finally time for bed, Catherine hugged each of us longer than usual. She whispered something to my brother about being smart and careful. The next morning arrived too quickly. The Millers' van pulled up at 8 sharp. They'd brought a cooler of appropriate snacks, carrots and celery sticks, nothing too indulgent. Catherine helped us load our bags while Mrs. Miller explained the car rules. No talking during the first hour to promote reflection, no snacking without permission, bathroom breaks only at scheduled stops. My sister started crying as we pulled away. Mrs. Miller turned around and calmly explained that tears were a form of manipulation and wouldn't be tolerated in their household. She handed my sister a tissue and a worksheet about emotional regulation. The crying stopped, replaced by the silence our parents had trained into us. Their house sat on 5 acres outside town. It was smaller than our parents' place, but had the same feel of resources being withheld. The pantry had a lock. The thermostat was in a locked box. Our bedrooms were in the basement, sparse but clean. At least we each had our own room this time. Mr. Miller gave us a tour of the property, pointing out the garden where we'd work to earn our meals, the chicken coop that would teach us responsibility, the wood pile that needed splitting for character development. He showed us the schedule posted in the kitchen. Wake up at 5:30, cold shower days marked in blue, fasting days in red, study time, work time, reflection time, all mapped out in neat boxes. Mrs. Miller prepared lunch while we unpacked. 1 sandwich each, no sides, water to drink. She watched us eat, making notes about our table manners and gratitude levels. When my brother asked about dinner, she explained we needed to earn it through afternoon chores. The first week blurred together. Wake before dawn, cold shower on designated days, work in the garden, even my sister pulling weeds with her small hands, schoolwork at the kitchen table under Mrs. Miller's supervision, earn meals through completed tasks, reflection journals before bed, reviewed and graded by Mr. Miller. They were smarter than our parents. Everything stayed just within legal limits. We got enough food to avoid malnutrition. The cold showers were optional, but choosing hot water meant losing privileges. The work was hard, but not dangerous. They documented everything as character building and life skills training. My brother started planning immediately. He kept his